Good morning, America. Al Gray for the K-Pixie Radio. I'm at one of my favorite houses in Coronado. Old Glory's waving up there. I'm going to have to show you from another angle, but there's Old Glory. I like to salute her every day, wherever she may hang or fly. Anyway, so the reason this is one of my most favorite homes in Coronado is because, oh heck, get a hold of yourself, Graham. It's because of this. It's a tree called the Giving Tree. Now you all know what that story about the Giving Tree is. Well, if you don't, bloody well look it up. And there you have it. So, this story is about a young woman who decided she was going to make a real life giving tree in her own house. This is the beautiful ajaranda. We pronounce it jacaranda. It's not, it's ajaranda. The most beautiful flower, purple flower. And the end of May or June, I'm not sure which month, but it just explodes. Oh, purple beyond purple. And the leaves are a bit sticky, but hey, that's part of it. I think you can even make something out of it. Like every tree, some good product comes from it. For example, the willow tree gave us aspen until Bayer came along and said, well, let's make it chemical. But all trees and all plants have medicinal, benefits for all of us. But this is a story about the living tree. As you well know, the living tree was this little story about a beautiful apple tree. And these kids made a swing on it. And over the years, they used it it gave shade, and when they sat down and enjoyed it. I don't want to ruin the story by telling it halfway, but I'll get to the crux of it. In the end, it gave its all. It gave every single thing that it had to give. And in the end, the kids came back. I guess they got into some financial trouble, and they wanted to cut down the tree. And I'm going to leave the story like that because it's the myth more than it is the actual story for me. Because what happened here was this young lady decided she's going to tell this story, allegoric symbolism, by making one. And it says right there in the concrete, the giving tree. This is a symbol of giving by humans, but in this case it's a metaphor, it's a tree. And sometimes, often, we come back to the well too many times and ask for too many things. And in the end, the tree is a giving tree, so it gives everything. But I'm going to leave the end of it for you to go read the bloody book. That's the first thing. But I want to tell you about a story about a guy I know who is he's a giving tree. You couldn't get him to not be kind and good. It's a moving story because this guy one time came upon some hard times, financial hard times. And to find a friend during financial hard times, it's like people say, well, look out, it's not my problem, go. He was on his own and he had to struggle through it. But like the Bible says, he's a good steward. He behaved like a good steward. He didn't run for the hills. He didn't freak out and get drunk and he just kept on keeping on. And he went to work harder than he'd ever worked. And every time he got a paycheck, somebody would say, well, look, you owe me. And he'd give his pay. And he kept on and on and on. And he lost a great deal. But with me, he gained everything because he showed that under pressure, the real man, the good steward, will put his head down, he'll go back to work, and he'll work until, I don't say he was made whole, because you can't when you, let's say, you got slicked by a city slicker and lost quite a lot. But he kept on keeping on. This is the moral of the story. if you can keep on keeping on when everything else goes south, there it's the journey. It's not the destination. And his journey was rough. And just every time he'd get on his feet, there'd be another bloody awful bill to pay or another blow, let's put it like that, another dagger in the heart. But the man here, he's, I'm not going to name him because he probably bashed me up for telling this story, but this story is one of, let's say like this, endurance, perseverance, all of the things you're going to need, and all of us will at some point. I speak from experience, by the way. So coming back from your tragedy is sweet as any summer wine, so to speak. It's glorious because you realize no one helped you. You did it on your own. Yeah, along the way there are good people who do help, and believe me, I know that experience too. In fact, without the most important person in my life being there, I would not be here. And it broke my heart when I saw my friend get taken to the cleaners by a huckster. Believed that this financial planner was on the level, and he went for it, and he lost a lot. But with me, he gained, dear God, everything back. So I say to you, God bless you, JS. Keep on keeping on, son. You're my inspiration, and I love you, son.